All right, so I have a few more minutes on this podcast, so let's dive into another movie I watched recently, and that is The Lobster. Okay, actually, let's dive into two movies. We're gonna dive into two movies real quick before I sign off, because both of these movies I didn't like as much as I wanted to like. Okay, so The Lobster, I gave it 2.5 out of 5 stars. I thought it was below average, but here's the deal, okay? I get it. I understand the movie, okay? I understand it. I understand the concepts. I understand what the movie's going for. I get it. So all the A24 fans or anyone else, I get it. I understand. And I get the movie. I understand what the movie's trying to convey to me, okay? Where my problems lie is with the execution of the film itself. I didn't like the performances. I didn't like how emotionless the performances were. I didn't like how they tried to I get what they were, I get the feeling they were going for with the film, but I just thought they didn't execute the scenes well. I didn't think that the acting was good. I didn't like the way that they delivered the lines. I didn't like the way that they actually performed on screen. I didn't like, even when there was like some action scenes, I didn't really think that they were anything like noteworthy. I just thought they were really bland. And that has to do with the performances, like from the actors themselves. They were going for some kind of like atmospheric feel, but I don't like that. Like, it didn't work in this movie. I feel like this movie needed a little bit of lightheartedness to it, where it didn't take itself as serious, but I feel like it fails in the way that the performances were off kilter from being this, with like, there was no silliness. It was so bland and so emotionless that it just takes you out of the film. Now, you may be able to connect with the story totally, because it has a somewhat relatable theme. It has like somewhat relatable themes in it, but with all those themes, you have to execute the plot and the way that you have to execute the screenplay the way that it is going to be digestible for the audience. And I just feel like they missed the mark with that. I just feel like they didn't do as good of a job as they could have. And yeah, I don't know. I just didn't like The Lobster, okay? Even though I know that's like a sin to like the world. Okay, so let me finish my fucking beer. All right, so the next movie, I was invited into a Netflix party. If you guys don't know what Netflix party is, it's an extension you can get for the Chrome browser, which would allow you to download a way to add people into a movie that you're watching on Netflix and watch it with them, where you can have sole control of the film, like pause, play, whatever, or you can give everyone in the room, or like certain people in the room, control of like the movie, like pause, play, rewind, fast forward type shit. And you can also chat with people in the room that are watching the movie with you. So you can chat with them too, like right in the screen, like right on the movie, like a little tab pops up on the side and you can talk to them. And I just think that's like a really cool idea. So I joined a Netflix party with somebody that I follow on Twitter. Shout out Allison M on Letterboxd. But so on Letterboxd and Twitter, I think her name's just like Allison M, like across the board. But so she's cool. She's a rad chick that does movies, and she does, she reviews movies and shit. And so she had this Netflix party for Delirium because she hadn't seen it and I hadn't seen it. And when we watched this film, I think there's a couple of other people, and so Topher Grace is in this movie, and it tells this like story of this mentally ill man who goes, and he's like plagued by these like dark thoughts. And okay, again with the execution, I thought it was okay. Here's the deal. I thought this one was too lighthearted. So the other one, The Lobster, I thought was not lighthearted enough. Now this one I think is too lighthearted, and I think that because Topher Grace brings a certain persona to a movie. You've seen him in That 70s Show. You've seen him in most of his movies, right? And other movies as well. And he brings a certain persona and the way he delivers jokes is a certain way. You know that it's Topher Grace talking when he's delivering jokes, and you can tell, right? So his delivery was fine. His execution of the scenes was fine, but it wasn't anything to write home about. And there was a lot of scenes where people, like, he's just, things that are happening on the screen are just like, they're happening, but like, they're not like cohesive enough to really be scary, if that makes sense. There's a lot of things that are happening that are just outlandish and crazy, and that's partly because he's outlandish and crazy, like the main character, and you could tell just by the name of the movie, like Delirium, I guess. So you can like tell that it's like about some crazy guy. So like, yeah, some of the things that aren't going to be, you know, it's going to be a little bit out there. So when they were making this movie, I just felt like some of the scenes just weren't executed well enough. And I can't tell if it was just like, wasn't a good enough budget or something. Like maybe Topher Grace was like, nah, I'm just like, I'm not being paid enough. So I'm just like not going to act like, super scared. Like I'm just going to seem like I'm still like kind of being silly about it. Because like, I felt like for like the first 30 minutes of the movie, it was him being silly. And so I'm like, okay, silly, ha ha ha, like not really that funny, but I'm like, ha ha, whatever, it's silly and funny. And then, you know, and then shit starts picking up and you're like, am I supposed to be scared? Because I thought I was supposed to be laughing. And then like, even like during the scary scenes, he's like, like things that are like you'd probably think are funny because he's just like giving that Topher Grace delivery to it. And they're not funny because it's not supposed to be funny. So like he the way he delivers the even just regular lines, he delivers them in like almost like a joke format that he's used to, like from That 70s Show and other movies. It's not working for this one because this is a horror movie and it's supposed to be taken seriously. You can tell like it's supposed to be a little bit more serious, because if it was like the whole, like, listen, you can't make a movie about like somebody that's delirious and seeing visions and he's like a person that just got out of the mental hospital and then tell me that this is supposed to be not, you know, this is supposed to be like the people in this movie are like, it's not so, it's supposed to be lighthearted basically. Like, no, it's not. It's supposed to be serious and you're supposed to be scared. And the scary things that happen on the screen are supposed to scare you, and they don't, because it's too lighthearted. It's too like silly because Topher Grace is in it, and everyone thinks he's silly, and he is, and he's silly in this movie. He can deliver a good performance. I've seen him in good things. Sometimes he just has like weird deliveries. Like sometimes he delivers like serious notes, like serious lines, in a way that he's delivering a joke, and you're like, is that supposed to be funny? And then you're like, no, it's not supposed to be fucking funny. It's supposed to be fucking scary. This is not fucking adding up. And then you're like, oh, okay, like, why am I watching this movie? And then by the end, you're like, wow, that was a fucking big waste of pile of shit. And you're like, that's just like a big pile of shit, and it's just like a waste of time. So like, no, like fuck, man, it's just terrible. It's terrible. Fucking make a better movie. Fuck. All right, so I already reacted to this, but Tenet, dude, Tenet trailer 2 just came out, and I'm so pumped, ready for Christopher Nolan's new movie. If you guys didn't see my reaction video, go check it out on Off the Cuff Reviews on YouTube. I'm everywhere, but specifically on YouTube. And this video, you know, I just reacted to the trailer, but I got goosebumps. The trailer is incredible. This is going to be an incredible film. I didn't know Robert Pattinson was going to be in it. Kind of surprised me with the casting choice of him, but I think he's going to be doing good because he's been killing it on the circuit right now, and he's just been doing great, you know. So my battery of my laptop is about to die, so I'm going to have to go, and I left the charger out there, and I'm not going to go get it. So I'm going to wrap this podcast up because it's been over an hour. I bid you guys a farewell. Thanks for listening. My name is Alex. This is the Off the Cuff podcast. I also wanted to let you guys know that I run a YouTube channel called Off the Cuff Reviews. Go check it out. Thanks for listening, guys, and I will see you next time. Stay safe. You guys can stay tuned for a new episode every Sunday. And yeah, watch me try to get sponsored by somebody else next week. So I will see you guys. I will see you guys on the flip side. Thanks for listening. Stay safe.